Hey, let me tell you about this piece. This piece has a great story, and it's real different. You know, I read quite a few different books over the years about the Mountain Man era. And I happened to run across, this is actually a book on all the different kind of gear and all that kind of thing these Mountain Men had. But they talked about a particular place, now this is up on the Snake River by Murtaugh, Idaho. And there's a big old drop of falls through there. And they had debated for years, historians, about whether or not the Mountain Men came through there with canoes and that. And then in 1950, they found at the bottom of this old falls there, where this old whitewater was, they found two of these what was called Astorian long rifles. Now, that's what you see right here. That's an Astorian long rifle. It was real typical of what some of those mountain men carried, especially in the earlier periods as they were heading over towards the Pacific. And I thought, oh, that's just a great story. Because whenever you see canoes, you see things like that, everybody's just kind of going along and let's put them into some real wreck here. And this was a great thing, a great area to kind of tell that story. So we've got a mountain man here, real typical again from that particular period. So you're talking, you know, 1820s, 1830s, by 1840s, mountain man period was pretty much over with at that time. So this guy is just wide open country. He's coming down the Snake River. Now he is in a canoe here that he would have made himself. It's made of big cottonwood trees and that. And I found a guy who actually builds these to the specs what these mountain men had. So I was able to get all the measurements and all of that. You can see here where he would tie up. There's a rope that goes up in coils and he put it inside of his canoe there. And when he tied up, well, that's the rope he would use to tie up with. And then what he's got, of course, he's got his Astorian long rifle here. Right up here in the front, he's got a little powder keg to carry all of his powder with. This bag here is called, it's a trap bag, it's a parfleche bag, and that's where he carried his beaver trap. So he's got that right there. He's got a wool blanket they would have traded for, one of the trade blankets of that time. This is a parfleche bag also, which he would have carried some incidentals, you know, maybe some spare buckskins, things of that nature would have been put into there. Now, as you look at the figure, what you've got, he's got a beaded knife bag right here on his belt, okay? Right here is called a possibles bag, and the reason they called it that because they could carry anything possible in there. So any sort of little incidentals they might have, that's where they put them. And then up around his neck, and you'll have to kind of, when you see the piece, you can look at it. It's a little something to discover. There's a little bitty bag under there, and that little bag is where they would carry the lead bullets for this rifle. Because if they ever got in a wreck, you know, if they got attacked, well, they had those little bullets all right there, ready to go. They could pull them out and get them loaded up into that, and of course put the powder in that. And then right under his arm here, that's his powder horn. And this guy, he's trying to navigate this old river, you know. And I got the water. You can see how it just frames him here, coming up and crashing around. And it has so many nice, just big darks and then lights. And look at the profile on that piece. It just has so many neat things. Lots of mass and texture, you know. And it just, even from the back, it's just all these nifty abstract shapes that make it interesting even from that angle. So it reads really well. And you can get that sense of just crashing down that old Snake River and getting into all of that mess that this guy's in. And he's kind of going to ride it out and going to see what happens next, and you get to finish the end of the story. So that's the story on Down the Yanga River. Thanks for letting me tell it.